Well, our top story today, the Western New York Off-Track Betting Corporation has chosen Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown for that top job. The board announced their pick about an hour ago, but we're still waiting to hear if the mayor will officially accept that position. Joining me now to talk about what could happen if Brown does leave his post is political analyst Jack O'Donnell. Jack, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Well, thanks for having me. Exciting times.
It's a lot going on today, that's for sure. Let's talk about if Brown leaves, he accepts that position, what could happen next? We know Council President Chris Scanlon is in line to take over. Just tell me a little bit about what this will look like coming up here.
Absolutely. The council president automatically will become the acting mayor. So there's no vote that would happen automatically. And then the office of mayor will be on the political calendar next year, which means a June primary and a November general election to elect the next mayor.
All right, let's talk about who that next mayor could be. What are some names that you've seen thrown into that hat that you see being that next mayor, beyond Chris Scanlon, of course, who would be the acting mayor?
Yeah, I mean, Chris Scanlon obviously is a formidable candidate. I would expect him to run as acting mayor and run to be mayor. We've also heard a lot of rumors around State Senator Sean Ryan. He's always been very focused on the city and has delivered a couple sort of big things, especially around housing for the city last year on the state budget. So, I think he would be a formidable candidate. We've also seen some tweets from India Walton, who's the only one in the bunch to have won a citywide primary. So she obviously brings a lot to the table. And then I think you've got a couple really exciting new members of the council who I've not heard specifically are interested, but that political observers have talked about in Zanetta Everhart and Leah Halton Pope, two really strong, bright new faces as well. So hearing about those folks and maybe some dark horses out there.
Let's talk about Chris Scanlon, who could be the next mayor here very shortly. What do you know about him? What are your interactions with him? We know his father was in politics. He's been in politics for a long time. Tell me what you know about him.
Sure, I know him. I knew his father. He has been a very conscientious member of the council. He's been an outspoken supporter of the police and firefighters. He's been someone who's been, really very focused on delivering for his district. I think he is very, very well liked in South Buffalo. He also kind of helped run the general election for Byron Brown from at least in the South District and beyond. So has some experience in some citywide races here. A young sort of a new face that maybe not a lot of folks in the city know, but I think brings a lot of ideas and energy to this office and to this race.
Young new face. We know Byron Brown has been that face since 2006. What are you hoping to see for the next mayor of Buffalo? Something like that, a young new candidate, someone who can bring something different to that position?
Yeah, I think, I think Byron Brown overall did a very good job. I think a good test of that is that we're talking about parts of the community that have maybe not have been left behind as other parts have advanced. The very fact that other parts of the community have developed and have advanced is a testament to his leadership. The fact that in the last census, Buffalo gained population for the first time in, 70, 80 years are a testament to that. So I think we're looking for folks who can take this to the next level. After 5 terms and 20-some years, it's time for new ideas, some of that new energy. But I also think folks who really are thinking differently. The world has changed a lot over that time. Buffalo's place in the state and in the country has changed. The challenges that Buffalonians are facing have changed a lot. And so someone who can offer a vision that addresses those challenges and ideally some of those hopes that a lot of us who live in Buffalo have for our city and our community. That's what I'm looking for.
All right, Jack. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have, but I really appreciate you joining me.
Thanks for having me.